Hey, Greece and Rome people. It occurred to me that most of the interest on this channel has to do one way or another with etymology. The emails I get from people with questions about things almost always have to do with where words come from, and I get it. I myself got into classics unequivocally because of etymology, so there's no two ways about it. I remember when I was at a crossroads in determining what my major was, and it was going to be music. I did 3.5 years of music theory in junior college, and then transferred to college, and I know this is a little bit of TMI, but what the heck, and arrived at UCSB, found out I wouldn't get credit for the 3.5 years of theory that I did, despite it being with, for the most part, with a doctor of music from Yale, but still that wasn't good enough because it was a junior college, and so I figured, I'll major in something else. What do I major in? And I thought about it. At first I was going to maybe major in German or French because I had taken a year of one and a semester of the other, and was excited about both of them, especially about traveling, being able to use the languages, etc. But for that very reason, it occurred to me, wait a minute, if I want to learn German, I'll learn it in Germany or Austria or Switzerland. If I want to learn French, I'll learn it in France or some other French-speaking country. But I love words, and I love English, but I don't want to take classes in English because I don't want to spend my whole time arguing with people about what Shakespeare means. I'd rather read Shakespeare. So what do? Well, I like foreign languages. I like the foreignness of the process of understanding words that aren't in my native tongue. So it occurred to me, wait a minute, I also like roots. I also like going back to the beginnings of things. So I thought, okay, I'll combine those two things into classics, which has to do with Greek and Latin, which are the roots of Western thought. And I did that. I majored in classics by taking Latin and Greek. And on the very first day of taking Latin, I did more than memorize words. I thought to myself that I was going to think of myself as a classics teacher from that point on. That was 1988 when I took my first Latin class, and that was when I became a Latin teacher, the very first day that I even learned one Latin word. And from that point on, I continued to be interested in what words mean, what they really mean in English, where they come from, and how interesting it is that there's such an often extremely important distinction between the way words are used in an impressionistic way by people in the media, by people in everyday conversation, versus their roots, where they come from, where they originate from, the pool of meanings from which all of the different ways of using a given root arise, with the different prefixes and suffixes attached to them at the beginning and end of the words, respectively. And I found that although I went deeper into the languages, much deeper into Greek and Latin, learning their grammars, which is really the most difficult part of learning any language other than Chinese, which is most difficult because of the characters that you have to learn. And there are other languages too that aren't that difficult grammatically, but Greek and Latin are. And at first I got a little discouraged about the fact that by learning the grammatical aspects of the Greek and Latin languages, I wasn't really focusing specifically on etymology anymore, it seemed. But then I realized, no, wait a minute. In a way, the words are the anatomy, and the grammar, both the morphology and the syntax, are the physiology. That is the way the words are used to make meaning and to understand the meaning that others make. And so that's when I realized that they complement each other in a way that was significant. And so the rest is history. I went on with classics, and I'm glad I did. And in future videos, I'll get more into that relationship between words, how they mean what they do, and classics.